What is up, you guys? Today it is September 1st, and your girl is 36 weeks and 1 day. Let me show y'all the belly bump. So today the midwife and the doula come over, and I think the doula is coming first. So yeah, stay tuned for the rest of this video.
Postpartum, so from like once baby's born, things to look for, you know, in the baby or around the baby, or you know, things like that. There's a lot of variations when it comes to babies. So we're going to be talking about that, and we're also going to be talking about breastfeeding, you know, understanding that that's going to be a journey as well, not only for you but for baby as well. Like baby doesn't know how to like suck on a nibble, you know. So it's going to be a journey for both of you. So continue to give yourself grace through that, and understanding that sometimes it's gonna take a while, and that's okay. Support. Let's talk about support. Who are we gonna have around us? You know, food wise, do you want to do a meal train? Maybe people can like send money for meal trains, or you know, do DoorDash for you. What are your thoughts on that? Or maybe just cook some food, cook extra, and then freeze it, so that way it's not too much of a big deal to, you know. And this is, I'm just trying to do it like so it could be efficient for you guys, because maybe you'll have some time off, but like I also don't want you to be like having to do all the things. You know what I mean? I want you to really have that quality time when you are here with them. So, and then you're gonna be in bed. So think about it. Like there's a lot of like meal options that you guys can look into, and that might work for you guys. And it will also be a way for your family and friends to still support you even from afar. Right. You know. Right. So you know. And then are parents coming, moms, or no? We don't know. It's okay. It's okay.
For the birth, probably not.
Okay.
I think they was talking, like both sides was talking about coming like after.
After, okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. Just understanding that also what works for you, what's not going to overwhelm you, right? Because like family is great. And we love family, but sometimes it's a little too much. And especially when you guys are trying to figure out, okay, what's best for our family, right? You know, sometimes you get a lot of like outside, like, oh, well, I did this and I did that, and you don't need this or you don't need that. But what if you do? What if you want it, you know? And that's okay as well. So learning how to have like healthy boundaries. Let me see if that's Francis. So understanding like having healthy boundaries, who are friends out here that you guys, you know, trust and consider family that can come, and maybe not stay here or like visit like a formal visit, but maybe bring something that you need. Like if you need a store run, like okay, maybe someone can go and grab stuff and bring it back and leave it at the door. Things like that is good things to just kind of keep in mind, because once baby's here, like your phone's gonna be going off like crazy, right? Like everyone's gonna be wanting to come and see the baby and do and this and that. And the biggest thing is that you guys feel okay with whatever's coming. Now, if you guys want a whole party the day after, like, you know, let's do it. Like, that's okay. But I want you to understand that it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say, hey, not right now. Or it's okay to also say, hey, can you actually help me with this instead? You know, I'm trying to bond with baby, so, you know, I want this time with baby, even though it can be challenging, but I'm still learning, and I think that's important. So maybe you can help me with something else, and that's okay as well. So understanding that, you know, it's all normal, it's all acceptable. Any questions on any of that stuff? No? Okay. So let's talk about newborn, right? So we're having a baby, we're pushing, baby comes out. What are we looking at, right? There's a lot of things that are that can be happening. So depending on when we have babies past 40, 41 weeks usually have less vernix, which is that like cheesy white covering, usually have less. So if the baby comes out clean as a whistle without that, that's okay as well. Babies that come earlier will be more cheesier than the latter, and that's okay. Coning of the head, or you know,
That's the funny part to me. The head shake.
that is completely normal. It's just the way that the baby was coming out. Sometimes you'll see more of a bump on one side than the other, and that's where probably the pressure that the baby was putting on you to open up the cervix that's where it was happening. So it could come out like here or like over here, but within 6 to 8 weeks that should go down. If it's like a hematoma, that takes a little bit of a while, but it's also a very normal thing to see. So Francis will also be here to examine the baby, make sure that the baby's looking good. Baby can come out crying, like with actual tears, and it might be a little bit of the amniotic fluid that, you know, kind of got in the eyes, or, you know, it could have a little redness, like irritation because of it. Very normal. That will go away within a few days. And if you're not sure about it, putting a couple of drops of breast milk, it'll save the day. Newborn appearances of, like, if the baby has any Mongolian marks, usually it does show up with like people of color. Mongolian marks, I'll show you. I think she has one right here actually. And they come in different places. So you see how she has this little dark spot. So it'll sometimes come out like above their crack, sometimes darker, sometimes lighter, sometimes they'll have coming around here, you know. Very normal. It happens, and that's, you know, that's just an appearance that we mark because it does look like a bruise. So that way, in case we go somewhere, people aren't thinking that you're like abusing your baby, or that like in the middle of the night the baby kind of hit themselves. So, you know, another one, it could be stork bite. So she actually came out with a stork bite, and it's, do you see that? So that's, and at birth can be a little more like bright red, and that is just like a regular gene mutation that sometimes happens. I've been looking into it, and it has a correlation with the MTHFR gene mutation. So what that means basically is that she, for example, she will have a little extra time to detox anything from her body. So I have to kind of supplement a few things to help her detox. However, it's not something horrible. It's not going to, you know, nothing that you're going to have to like keep up with. Just kind of, you know, do your research, look into things. Other than that, baby can come out wet, and, you know, could be blood. That's all okay. All of it is okay. Later on we can wipe the baby down. Baths, it's really up to you guys. You can wait up to 2 weeks, even more, whatever you want. So don't think that the baby's dirty just because, you know. You want to recreate the womb, okay? So in the beginning, it might be a little, you know, bright, so we could just kind of make sure that the baby's doing okay, everything is all right. And when I say bright, I don't mean like hospital, like flashlight bright. But we'll have some lights just to kind of make sure that we can see everything, you know, in regards to baby, that Francis can see in case you tear, right? In case you tear, that Francis can see well, like where the tear is, etc. You know, depending on where we're birthing to, right? The last one we had, she birthed into toilet, so we really needed light for Francis to be down there and just kind of see how baby's coming out, and, you know, etc. If you are in the water, she does have like a little headlight, you know, to just kind of see, but it's just a spotlight, so it shouldn't, you know, distract you too much. Skin to skin is always, you know, what the baby wants, especially the first few months, you know. I still do skin to skin because the first year they don't really realize that they are separated from you. So they smell you, they see you, they feel you, and it's like you're still one with them. So and that is going to be a huge regulator. For instance, if the baby's cold, your breast will warm up within 2 minutes to warm up the baby. So things like that. If the baby's hot, they'll cool down within 2 minutes to, you know, bring down the baby's temperature. So that's all very normal. Pretty miraculous, if you ask me. Talk to your baby. I don't know why, but in the beginning, like, the parents are like, what do I do? Just talk to the baby. Talk to the baby, because they already hear your voice. Like, by this time, the baby already knows dad's voice, mom's voice. So if you continue talking, like, they'll recognize, oh, I remember that voice, and now you're here and you're a lot louder, You're a little blurred out in there. Yeah. Another thing with skin to skin and breastfeeding, jaundice. So it's the bilirubin in the body. If the baby's giving you poop, they are pooping the bilirubin out, and all that stuff out. Sunlight. So if you want, you can kind of walk out right here where there's light. Give the baby maybe a few minutes of sunlight, and then breastfeeding. I know, like, in the hospital, they'll immediately put the baby under UV light. Breastfeeding and sunlight. That's literally what the baby needs. And if the baby is giving you dirty diapers, then they're getting rid of that. And little by little, that yellowing of the jaundice will clear out. Baby wearing is like the best thing, because you can, like, literally do whatever you want in the house once you're up and at 'em. And then you still have the baby close to you. So what else? Anything else when it comes to that? Baby's gonna look kind of crazy that first moment. Wrinkly, a little deformed, maybe a little alien-like. That's okay.
What I look like when I was a baby?
I was saying that's how you look right now. Wrinkly.
That's a good one.
I don't know, but these kids, they be coming out like their daddies. You know what I'm saying?
They do.
We do all the work, and then they come out looking straight like...
You be like that.
That's why I said that. Baby will come out looking just like you.
Another thing is cradle cap. That's very normal. Coconut oil is like a lifesaver. You use coconut oil for everything. So, you just put it on, and then they have like those silicone combs, and you just brush it out little by little. It's not a bad thing. You just don't want to rip it out, because it's like scabs. So it's literally, it's connected to the skin until it falls off. So just kind of be, attentive with that. Just not pulling it out. We will be doing, like, making sure that the baby's breathing. Not all babies cry right after they come out. They should do a little cry, but it's not like, not everybody goes, ah! It's not like that. Now, if the baby comes out like that, great. But we will be making sure that the baby's getting enough oxygen once it's out of the womb. Because once it's out of the womb and in the air, baby is breathing. So now baby will start trying to cough or sneeze to get all the fluids out of its body, that way it could, inhale correctly. Right. So we don't know what we're having. So I want to talk both penis and vulva. So if it has a penis, obviously, we want to just kind of, you don't have to, both boy and girl, don't be afraid to clean. You want to make sure it's clean, because just like us, they discharge, they're self-cleaning and all that kind of stuff. So you want to make sure you're going inside the crevices, pulling down the foreskin, making sure, like, baby's clean up there, underneath the testes. Frances will also make sure that both testes do come down. And if not, then she'll let you know who to talk to, and et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, you just want to make sure that you wash both with water, no soap, just like us. And then for the vulva also, open up the lips, making sure we do have a lot more crevices, so especially when they have poopy diapers, girl, like, it is not fun. So don't be afraid to move things around, try and clean it up. Obviously not aggressively, but just, I think that's the biggest thing. You get my drift. Like, just open up, clean up in the crevices with water. Sometimes babies will come with enlarged breasts. Very normal. The same thing with, like, it's like little bleeding, kind of like little drops. Very normal. This is the baby detoxing the hormones and getting rid of the hormones, their hormone levels regulating after birth. So they'll have a little bit of milk that might come out, like they can lactate a little bit, and then afterwards the breast will come down again. Skin changes. So like I said, if the baby comes out wrinkly, that will change literally in a few days. Even the next day, the baby will look completely different. I mean, the baby's been submerged in water or liquid for such a long time, so it only takes a little bit for it to change. Yeah, so little by little you'll understand which cry means what. So which cry means I'm hungry, which cry means I have a dirty diaper, which cry means I just want to be close to you, like carry me, hold me, keep me close. Only you guys will know that communication. The newborn procedure. So I know that Frances does give the vitamin K and the eye ointment if that's something you don't choose to have. I think she also has that in the portal for you to decline. So you just decline the vitamin K, or accept the vitamin K. GBS. Did you do GBS yet? Okay, so that
talked about it last
yes,
time I
yeah.
had it.
So that might be something she will possibly offer either today or the next time you go to the office. Let's talk breastfeeding. We're breastfeeding, yeah? Okay. So the biggest thing with breastfeeding is, well, a couple things. It's a journey, number one, and number two, comfort is important. Comfort for you, because if you're not comfortable, then you're not going to enjoy it as much as you can.
Right.
You want to make sure you're supported, your back is supported. Always, however you're holding the baby, always make sure that the baby's coming to you, not you going like this, right? Belly to belly, right? Like this. This is one way to hold the baby. Then you can do this too. I mean, she's ginormous, so the baby's not gonna be this big. But another way could be like this, so that way you have control of your breast here. Another way can be like this, football hold, and then right here, and then the last one is the sideline. Sideline is my favorite. You go like this. Make sure that you're comfortable. There you go. Belly to belly, and see how she's kind of looking up? That's how you want. So you want to make sure that the boob or the nipple is higher than her face, so that way she looks up and she has more, it's all open down here. And then you're having pillows, so for comfort, have pillows in the back of you for comfort. You can have some pillows here, and then like I said, belly to belly, and baby will knock out.
Me too.
And then once they're bigger, then they sit and eat like this. You want to make sure that you're comfortable the whole time, so that way you get to enjoy it as much. If you do like the forward, you're going to feel some tightening here, so the massaging is going to be your best friend. In the beginning, you're having colostrum. I would even say start stimulating your breast from now, so that way your body will start thinking, okay, it's almost time. Colostrum is really thick, it's really yellow, it's like the most nutritious one. It has like all the vitamins, everything that the baby will need for the first few days. Your mature milk should be coming in between 3 to 6 days. So don't put pressure on yourself if it's a little bit, because the baby only needs a little bit. Like the baby's belly is like the size of a blueberry. Feed the baby, not the clock. So everybody's like every 2 to 3 hours, every 2 hours. Every baby's different. Your baby might be every 2 to 3 hours. I say feed on demand. That's it. And it's even going to be better for your milk to start coming in if you're feeding on demand. So if the baby starts, crying, or the baby wakes up in the middle of the night, that's okay. You wake up and you feed the baby a little bit. It's only going to be a little bit. They'll fall asleep. Put them back to bed. But you do want to not go beyond those 2 to 3 hours. So prepping the breast, warm compressions, hand massages. You could just kind of like massage little by little. Maybe you may already feel some like bumps, and those should be your nodules that are like preparing to do their thing. Also, preparing your nipple, right? Your nipple will be latched for a very long time. And the way that you want to make sure that the baby is latching on is that it's not only taking on your nipple, that it's also on your areola as well. Did you guys go over that in your childbirth claess?
Well, I don't think.
No? Okay. So let's say this is your nipple. So your nipple, and then this is like your areola, right? This part is your areola. So baby's bottom lip, then tongue, then your nipple, and then their upper lip. It should be like this. So that way the tongue is underneath the areola and like massaging the areola into the nipple, like massaging the area, and that also helps them develop that tongue muscle as well. Are you planning on pumping and bottle feeding?
Well, I'm gonna have it, but I don't know if I'm gonna like use it.
Okay, no problem. For bottle feeding, even pacifier,
I was using the pacifier.
Okay, perfect. I will say to try and start after the month. I know, dad might, you might want to feed the baby and things like that, but we want to reduce the risk of nipple confusion because the baby might, the flow of the bottles are always a lot quicker and easier than the breast. So then they kind of become lazier if you put them on the breast and they don't want to do the work anymore, right? And I hate saying like lazier. It's just like they just get it and it's easier and they just want to, So you want to make sure that you introduce those things after the month. Now, if we have any issues or delay with breastfeeding, obviously fed is best. So if you are pumping and the breast milk comes out and like baby's not latching but also not eating, then we need to introduce the bottle. That's perfectly fine, okay, right? Fine as well. You might also find yourself cluster feeding. So obviously on demand, it always kind of varies. But cluster feeding is when you fed them at like 10 minutes, 20 minutes apart, and 30 minutes, and another 5 minutes. Like they're just kind of, there's no consistent pattern. It's like all over the place, and most likely it's like it's closer than even the hour, right? Those cluster feedings, you're gonna see that quite a bit, especially when the baby's going through a growth spurt. So usually between 2 to 3 weeks, then about 5 to 6 weeks, and then around between 2 and 3 months, and then 6 months. Those are the biggest growth spurts that the baby has that first year. Wet diapers. Baby should be giving you lots of wet diapers, especially if we're feeding on command or demand. So in the beginning, it's about 10 diapers a day sometimes. So be ready for that.
Yeah. 10 a day?
Yeah. They do. It's a lot in the beginning, and then once they start understanding how to hold it a little more, then obviously it goes down. But prepare for about 10 a day. You want to make sure that they're giving you a dirty diaper, wet and number 2 as well. The beginning poop, that meconium, that you hear about, it's dark, it's like a tar, so it can get sticky if you don't.
I seen a picture of video on Instagram. I ain't like it how it look.
And that's normal, but like I said, if you have like coconut oil, put it on their booty, because in case you go a little longer to change their diaper and they have that, it does get sticky, it does get hard, and you don't want it to get stuck on their booty or anywhere and then have to like peel it off, Now, sometimes babies will come out and just poop all the meconium like as they're coming out, and that's cool too. The poop will start changing color to like maybe greenish, yellowish, It is water soluble. Were any of you born with a tongue tie?
I was.
A tongue tie?
No? Can you stick your tongue out?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. or lip tie, which is when like your lip is really close to your teeth.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
No. Okay. So more than likely, baby won't have that. And I say more than likely because it's mostly a genetic thing, like a hereditary thing.
Yeah.
So if you don't have it, more than I wouldn't be surprised. However, if the baby does have it, we have lactation consultants that can help you with breastfeeding because that can alter how you
go
feed.
about it.
Yeah.
You made it!
I did.
I thought you was gonna get lost.
No. I tend to follow instructions. Okay.
Okay.
Welcome.
Birth tub gonna go where? Right, you want to hear?
Yeah, I was there somewhere in the living room,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna slide this table over.
Okay. Yeah, and we can use this table.
For the setup for y'all.
For the setup.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Very good. Yeah. That can intensify at nighttime, and that is also very normal. You may also experience discharge that is more frequent, a little more runny or watery-esque that make you kind of think, oh, did I pee on myself or did my bag of water spray? It could be that thin, or it could be really mucousy. Okay, you may see a mucus plug, you may not. It is what it is, but all of those are some things that may start to present themselves as we get closer. Okay, alrighty. But I like what I hear. Okay. I know you don't have no questions, but I asked anyway. Any questions?
We've been walking. We've been, hydrating.
Y'all are just so good. Okay. What you'll do this week, your homework assignment will be to go back, unless you've done it already before I say it. Okay. What you'll do is you'll go back in your client portal, and you'll go under forms and records where you signed all that initial stuff, and you'll tell me what you want to do in regards to vitamin K, eye ointment, and the Group B strep swabby thing. So you'll read all of it and then you'll make decisions. Okay, even the hearing screen is in there as well. Okay, so next week you'll do that this week, and then next week you'll be like, okay, I did it. This is what I want to do. And we'll make alerts so that we know if you do want to do something. We'll make the alert. This is what they want. If you don't, we just automatically. If I don't see no alert, I just assume you didn't want it. We will talk about it again next week. But this week, your homework is to go in and to read. If you have any questions, bring them. But sign the consent and let us know how you want to do. Okay. Also, next week when we see you, you'll be at the office and you'll get your birth pool and your liner for the birth pool and all the water birth supplies. Okay. And then we'll do your final blood draw. Okay, and GBS if that's something you decide to do. Okay, sound good?
What's GBS again?
It's Group B strep.
Group B strep.
Group B strep is a natural gut bacteria that everybody walks around with, just like yeast. Okay, it can overgrow. It ebbs and flows in women's bodies, and at the end of pregnancy, the United States of America, they prefer for us to test moms for GBS because of its potential impact. On the labor process, okay? Especially if the bag of waters breaks and the bag of waters has been broken for a prolonged period of time. Prolonged rupture here in the United States means over 18 hours. Okay, so that's what GBS is, and its impact on labor could everybody different. It can increase. It can cause infection, and if the baby gets exposed to it, it can cause respiratory distress upon birth, which sometimes, I shouldn't say sometimes, it does lead to a NICU stay. So that's why they want. How much you read today?
I didn't get on it.
That's okay.
I thought about it, but then I was like, I don't know if we was doing it.
I mean, if you want to do it, you can. If you don't, I don't care. We'll do it next week. Okay.
191.9.
Okay. Ooh. She said 191.
She said juicy.
How come this is doing?
You know what the last one was? What was it?
Listen it.
What?
Okay, what's a little something this week? Hey, sweet girl. Yeah.
It's a close.
Okay.
It's the clothes. It's the clothes I ate.
Yeah.
All the things I haven't gone to the bathroom.
Yeah.
All the things Mom tell me, girl, it was
She's
really
like, that's
good.
about 10 pounds.
It's 100 over 68.
I know my hands a little bit swelling. But I didn't know that until I took some pictures and tried to put my own rings on. I was like, yep, my hands are swollen.
Yeah, the end you get a little puffy, but nothing concerning.
Yeah, that's why I didn't notice until I tried to put them on. I was like, dang, they must be slight.
You'll go back and see yourself pregnant, and you'll be like, oh wow.
But everybody always be like, you look so small.
Right.
Well, this
Especially at
week, I could tell you're pregnant. Like you have gained weight.
Yeah.
Which I mean, and when I say gain weight, the baby has grown. Like you look very, very pregnant.
Especially when I turn to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, girl, there it is.
Yeah, I always tell moms, like, from that 34 visit to the 36 visit, it's like a huge difference.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're like, God, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at this picture I sent my mom. I'm like, oh my goodness.
There you go. Hi, sweet thing. Oh yeah, honey, she has grown. Oh yeah. Hi, Pooh. What you been? Sure didn't glass down. You have to remember those glasses down. Pressure for me here. Okay.
Tender.
Alright, I got her at 35 in her head. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Bill. What is it? Okay, she over here. I mean, she's over here. Feet here. You feel kicks here?
I feel something right here and then like down here. But then I be feeling like it be, I don't know, it be like a big knot right here.
Okay. Sometimes those are vaccine hits to practice contractions. Your uterus can contract locally, just localize. Yes, I know. Hi, girl. She said, okay. All right. She's back there. She's more in the back again.
That's that heartbeat beating like that? Sound like drum line.
So the head stay down there and then go over here?
The butt is here.
Okay.
And then the head is right there. That's the head.
That's probably why you feel so tender, too.
Yes, it is real tender.
No, I be like when I be rubbing, I be feeling like the baby. I don't be knowing what parts is what.
So,
I just be feeling just it get like harder, like the press through. I'm like that's the body part, but I don't know what it is.
yeah, so all this over here is appendages. So I think she's sitting right here in the middle and kicking right here. And then the head is low. That's why you're tender on your pubic bone. But that head, she's not quite engaged. She's almost there. Almost there. We're making her work.
I be feeling like I feel the baby like going down, like we was in the grocery store.
Yeah, that's good.
Walking around.
That's good. Yep, you should feel her kind of, I mean, some women do, easing down.
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
Yeah, because she's almost engaged. Yeah, so. Engagement just means that she's making her way into the pelvis and she's sitting, like this piece of the head, like this piece of the head is like in the pelvis. So her whole head's not in there, but the front piece of it is. So that's good. We likes it, girl. Whew.
I know.
Okay, it's gonna be great. Remember that, you know, you'll let Melina know. You can also let me know, but she does a great job of keeping me, you know, up to date and all the things. So, you have my phone number, Thaddeus?
I don't.
Okay, so he needs my phone.
You should. I think I gave it to you.
He needs my phone number so that in the event that things just go crazy wild, just, oh my God.
That's why I think I had gave it to you.
The baby is going to come flying out of my vagina. Frank says, oh my God, oh my God. You're going to hang up with Melina, okay? And you're going to call me on well, you got an iPhone, so if you got WhatsApp or Google Meet.
That's
Right.
What's your number?
That's the number, okay? And you call me, and we just walk through it together, and everybody will be on their way.
I remember it.
And because she knows, she already know. Call everybody. Tell them, come on. And we just walk through it together.
Yeah.
Okay.
I usually tell you, text me or call me when you start even feeling crampiness. Even if they're like every hour or so that way, like, we all kind of have an idea that we may or may not have a baby soon. And, you know, the team is just like on call in that moment.
Prepared.
And then, but we stay in contact with you. I'll stay in contact with you every 2 hours, 3 hours. And then if things start progressing quicker, then, you know, we get going.
That.
So you always call, okay? You don't bother us typically, but during these final days, you should bother us a lot,
Yes.
okay? Just so, because if I can't, I don't know. I tell people I don't have ESP, she don't have ESP, or when I do think I have ESP, I'm wrong. So if you doing something we don't know, you have to call. You have to call. If she's like, I don't want to bother them, you call.
Yeah.
Especially if you like, I don't know what you talking about. I'm finna call them because I think something's going on.
Yeah.
And we'd rather be here and leave. Be like, it was a false alarm. Let's regroup. This is what we're gonna do moving forward. Than for you to have a baby here without us.
Like Big Mama's house.
Yeah, you don't want that. Now, don't get me wrong.
What I gotta do?
While I was using the bathroom.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
Shut up.
That's the only way.
You know, and things happen, right? Like sometimes labor just goes fast, and those moments, it's not anyone's fault, right? Like it's just that's what's happening. However, we do want to know when you're contracting, like she said, am I cramping? All the things. And typically she arrives first. Then, you know, her and I do a lot of texting back and forth. I'm asking
All the questions.
Literally
all the questions. So I am fiercely texting. Yes, no, yes, I don't know.
She said, I'm going to tell her if that's it, you know. So there's a lot of communication. And then I typically am next to be here. And then Mimi will be soon to follow. Okay? So we always tell you, leave the door open when you know we're en route. So we're not standing out there like,
Waiting.
I hear her in there, but I guess we just wait.
I guess
I'll
I'll
break
wait
away. And what else was I going to say? So yeah, like you said, you'll see the same Doppler, the same blood pressure. All this comes with me. We listen through a contraction. So sometimes that's for 5 minutes. I'm listening before, during, and after the contraction. And that can happen anywhere. If you're sitting on the toilet, I listen to you on the toilet. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't have to accommodate me. I'll find my way. Okay?
She has a skill set.
Yeah, see?
That's
See how we're sitting?
They know it's in small places the best I can. Okay, so yeah, Okay, I know how to get here. I know where to park. We have the directions on the phone. I think we're good. Okay, we'll see you next week.
You're gonna leave me.
I'm gonna get back down the road to the office. Got one more person. Is this some
Uh-oh.
alcohol?
Midwife is stealing wine, y'all.
Ooh, she's stealing.